Hey guys, welcome back to Willpower Garage. Today we're working on a 2018 Honda Pilot, and I'm going to show you how to replace the front brakes. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so obviously to do your brakes, first thing you need to do is remove the wheel. This one has a wheel lock on the rim. You know, Honda rims are very desirable, especially stock gray ones, so you got to have wheel lock keys. So we're going to remove this wheel first so we can get to the brakes. Now obviously I'm doing this on a lift, but you could do it just the same with a floor jack. Just make sure you put a jack stand somewhere underneath the subframe. If you're going to do that, never trust the jack itself. The hydraulics can fail, and you don't want to have your brake job turn into a hospital visit. So one of the things I like to do here is you're looking at the caliper. Many manufacturers have holes or cutouts in the caliper itself. It's a lot easier to try to compress the pistons in the caliper now than using C-clamps or some special tool afterwards. The way I do that usually is I have a pry bar. So I use the pry bar to get in between here against the rotor, and you just gently pull the caliper away. So the direction I'm going right now, I can only go so far before the caliper slides are bottomed out. So then I push it the other way. I'll go between the rotor and the inside pad, and then again pry it to push the pistons in all the way. Now with these two holes on the Honda, I could see that the pistons are moving. I could see that they're in all the way. Once they're in, I should be able to move this caliper freely, and I know that my pistons are retracted and the pads are free. So now the next thing to do, we're going to remove these two bolts that hold the caliper to the caliper bracket or the pad bracket. Then I'm going to remove the two bolts from the inside here that hold the caliper bracket to the spindle. And finally, we'll remove the rotor, which is held on with a Phillips head screw against the hub. All right, now that I got a little bit of a close-up view, these two bolts here are 17 millimeters. So go ahead and loosen these. Once you have these removed, be careful with the caliper. You don't want to hang the weight of the caliper on the brake hose. You can damage it internally, and that can lead to the brakes being hung up as you apply the pressure. The fluid won't be able to return. It'll keep pressure on the pads, and you can actually damage the pads and the rotor. So make sure you put the caliper in a way so there's no weight on the hose, hanging up if you have to. A little bungee cord usually works really well, a piece of tie wire, something like that. So here I can remove the pads now to get them out of the way. One thing you might want to notice is before you go pulling these off, I like to do one side at a time, and that's mostly because you can see where the brake squealer is positioned, because depending on which side of the car it is, they're usually on different sides of the pad. And sometimes the inner pad that goes against the caliper piston is different than the outer pad. So it's easier to match these up now to the new pads than to try to figure it out afterwards. So just keep that in mind. Keep these together. Obviously you could see where the piston was and where the outer part of the caliper is, so you can match these up easily. All right, so now the caliper bracket itself is a 19 millimeter. So go ahead and loosen those up. That gets your caliper bracket off. Now this is a number 3 Phillips bit. Like I said, the rotor on this is retained with a Phillips screw. Sometimes you can just get them loose, like this one kind of came right off. This tool in particular is an impact screwdriver, or like a manual impact. Basically what you do is, as you're turning this, you hit the back portion with a hammer and it'll shock the fastener to get it to remove. This one luckily came right off. You can see there's no rust or anything on there. But it is a good idea to put some sort of anti-seize on this before you reinstall it. So now the rotor can come off. Now's a good time to take a wire brush to it. Make sure the hub is clean. This car is pretty well maintained. You can see there's not a lot of rust to this car, so it doesn't need much. But you want to make sure that this surface is nice and clean so your new rotor sits good and flat. Otherwise you can end up with a brake vibration. All right, we're ready for our new rotor. So anytime you get new rotors, generally they come with a coating on them. So you want to use a good quality brake clean. Wipe that oil off of the machine surface. You don't need to worry about the rest of the rotor, just the part where the brake pads are going to ride against. Try not to touch that surface with your hands. You don't want to get the grease from your hands back on the rotor itself. You can always clean it again before you button it up. Now before I put this on, I need to line the hole up with the threaded portion with the countersunk part of the rotor so I can replace that screw. Like I said, it's a good idea to put a little anti-seize on here. Next is our caliper bracket. Generally, in any quality brake pad kit, it comes with new pad guides. So you can remove these, throw these out. Make sure you clean underneath the pad guides on the caliper bracket itself, because it does build up a little bit of rust. That rust builds up too much, it'll push this into the pads and the pads won't move nice. The other thing you want to do is you want to check to make sure these slides are nice and free. If you do have to inspect them, pull the boot down. You can see, make sure there's grease in. If they are dry, make sure you add a little grease to them. And make sure the boot goes back on and it's sealed. Same for the other side. Make sure, inspect it, make sure the pin has grease. You don't want to see rust or any kind of corrosion inside there. So let me clean up this bracket and we'll put on our new pad guides. Okay, quick wire brushing in here, making sure these are nice and clean. The new guides here, they literally just snap in and over the casting. Just make sure that the tabs on the inside are positioned so they're even on both sides. And then these just snap into place. I don't know why, but on these Hondas, the upper portion has a hole here. The lower one does not. I don't really see much other difference in the way the slide is other than that. But I just want to make you guys aware of this. So now we can go ahead, we can reinstall the bracket. All right, now that these two 19mm bolts have run down, they get torqued to 101 foot-pounds. Okay, next, brake pads. I like to put a little lube where the pad is going to contact the caliper piston, and a little bit on the ends where it rides in the guides on the caliper mounting bracket itself. And these will just slip back into the guides like that. Little lube on the outer pad, same thing, where it's going to contact the caliper itself. And these utilize a set of springs that go into these holes in the pads themselves. And what it does is it helps keep the pad off of the rotor when you're not utilizing the brakes. So they're a little tricky to get on while getting the caliper on. When you go to put the caliper on, make sure that the hose is not kinked. It's on the same way. Oh. And the spring came off again. Get this guy back in. Okay. There we go. I'm going to run down my caliper mounting bolts here. And these get torqued down to 37 foot-pounds. All right, one final thing I like to do is put a little bit of anti-seize around the hub ring here. And what that does is it helps keeping the aluminum rim from getting stuck on the hub. And if you ever have to change a tire on the side of the road, it makes getting that wheel off a lot easier. I also put a little anti-seize on the threads of the studs. Helps them go back on much easier as well. So finally, we install our wheel. Get our lug nuts on, and then we'll torque these to spec. Okay guys, I hope you liked today's video. As always, if you have any questions, comments, just leave them below. I'll try to get back to them as soon as I can. But as you can see, replacing the brakes on this Honda are super simple. Follow these steps and you should have no issues. One thing I should say, anytime I replace brake pads, I always recommend replacing rotors. Not very many places resurface rotors anymore. They're generally inexpensive and you will get a much better braking feel from new rotors and new pads at the same time. Not to mention, a lot of times people don't realize the inner portion of the rotor will accumulate rust and it'll keep the pad from contacting the rotor well, and you'll get a really bad or poor braking performance from it. So it's a good idea to replace the rotors when you replace the pads. All right guys, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.